Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. My name is John. Unfortunately, Deuce has a family issue that has come up. He's not been able to be with us for the past couple of weeks. We wanted to get a show out for you. So sitting in the Deuce chair is, ladies and gentlemen...
It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Just in case you didn't think there was a real Jimmy, and I was making him up after all this time. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great, Johnny. Glad to be back.
So just so everybody knows, the last time we had Jimmy on here, I put an iPad in front of him so he could stay with the stories and stuff like that. It was the worst idea because the whole time he kept fucking with the goddamn iPad and his head was off mic and all. And I said, okay, finally, I gave him a set of headphones and a microphone, and that's it. I think it's all you can concentrate on right now.
I feel left out.
That's okay. I don't care, to be quite honest with you. So The Jimmy came back from a weekend up snowmobiling. Dude, how cold was it up there? Was it?
No, it wasn't real cold. Not like New Year's. It was 29 below on New Year's.
I see. None of that sounds fun to me. None of that.
It sounds cold, but it really, the way you dress when you're snowmobiling, you don't even feel it.
Okay.
But
yeah, that whole snowmobile. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fun, but after a while, after you and you do that like 5 times.
Well, no, we take a different road every time.
Okay.
We take a different path, so it's.
I know me. I would be out there like on a lake I'd be flat tracking it
going
around
109.
Yeah, trying to flat track it. Next thing I know, it rolled over.
Oh, that happens.
Oh, I bet.
End over end.
Yes. So I'm not into the cold and the snow. And then it was funny because I'm sitting there, and when the Jimmy goes on vacation, I'm going to start calling you the Jimmy. When the Jimmy goes on vacation, he sneaks out of town. He never tells anybody. He just sneaks out of town, and next thing you know, he comes back, and where the hell were you at? I haven't heard from you in a while. Oh, I was here. I was there, wherever you go.
Tell them what you really call it.
Hey, you sneak out of town like a cat that shit on a rug. So
God, I love that.
All of a sudden, Saturday night, the phone rings, and I pick it up, and Jimmy was terrible. How much did you drink? I haven't heard you that white girl wasted.
In my defense, I do not drink like my brothers and nephews. They're drinkers. I have a couple of beers usually, and that's it.
We're teetotalers. We're rookies. I'm
the designated driver. I guess I keep everybody from getting harmed, and we weren't going to go out that night, so they were having their little shenanigans, so I decided to join in.
You certainly did join in.
Yeah, me and a bottle of Tito's.
So he calls me, and he's like, "Oh, Johnny, I'm going to tell you, these people up here could drink." And then you told me, so tell me the story of they dared you to go to the
worst
liquor store
possible business is attached to our home away from home. A liquor store is attached to our building in the front.
Oh, really?
We literally can knock on the door and let us in the back, but we don't. We walk around. So they dared me to go get another bottle of vodka in what they call the
Jimmy Hefner
robe. I have a big puffy robe that I like to wear after I get out of the shower, and they all have their shearling slippers. So of course I brought mine. And
what faggy thing is a shearling
slipper?
Yeah.
Oh well, the owner of the house requests that no boots come in off snow on the floor. So you take your boots off at the door, and everybody has shearling slippers. Those two. They are just a real leather slipper. You get them at LL Bean, Cabela's, and everybody has their slipper.
They're kind of like fag Ugg for men?
Yeah, and they also have them too. They're from Cabela's. They call them Alaskan guide boots. And
fag
they
boots.
come in all different 3-inch, no height, 3-inch, 6-inch. Yeah, well, whatever.
Go ahead.
So when you come in the house, you take off your real snow boots, some of us, and you put on your fag boots.
Fag boots.
So anyway, we ran out of vodka, and they dared me to go to the liquor store. So Jimmy's, I'm up for a dare. So
because he's already had a bottle.
Here I go in my robe, and like a Scotsman, nothing under it.
Nothing under it.
Just the shearling slippers and me, and a wallet. Oh, I did have a hat on. Yes, I did have a hat on.
No pictures. I'm so pissed off that there was no pictures or video.
Well, they did Snapchat, but that disappears, so I'm glad of that.
What the fuck with these guys?
So I walk into the liquor store, and here's a mother-daughter I've never met, but she knew that I was from the back
Stop touching the microphone. Go ahead.
And I bought a bottle of vodka and probably made a spectacle of myself and walked back, and they had a blast with that.
Yeah. Now, did they end up going out that night? Because they were talking about going out.
Yes.
Did you go with them?
No, I stayed home.
That was a good move by you.
Yeah. And there's several watering hole establishments there. There must be 9. There's 3 within walking distance, which is another dangerous thing for these guys. But
what is the women like up in the New York area? What is the
30 to 1?
What's the 30 women to one guy, or 30 guys to one woman?
Yeah, it's a predominantly male sport
up there.
Yes.
Okay.
So you got a lot of guys and
not that much tail.
You know what they say up there: men are men, and so
sheep are afraid.
Yeah, so are the women.
The deer are afraid.
But they, with the cast and crew that I go with, there's always hope with them. You know what I mean?
They're good-looking guys.
Yeah, but there's always hope. There could be that weekend where 4 girls came up snowmobiling, and we've got to make sure we're there.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah, they went out to a bar up the street a little ways and continued on their partying.
So let me ask you this question. So basically, there's like townies, and then there's everybody coming in for snowmobiling.
Oh, yeah, the population. It's like the shore.
Okay, so it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When it snows, people come from all over to converge on Old Forge, New York. We'll give them a plug.
All right, the whole town.
Yeah, snowmobile capital of the East.
Is it really?
Yep.
Is it really?
Well, okay. Tug Hill, which is a few miles away, is the capital. They get
Tug Hill?
Yep.
Okay.
They get a lot of snow.
All right. Nobody brought any strange home?
No. Well, somebody strange came home while I was watching the Olympics. I heard the door open and close, and then I heard somebody snoring. So I get up and I walk around. I go in my brother's room. There's nobody in the room. I still hear this snoring, and I said, well, let me check the bathroom. And lo and behold, there's Mike in there on the toilet snoring away.
Oh, your brother?
Oh, yeah. They brought him home. White girl wasted more than I was.
I think you guys just go up there to drink.
Yeah, well, I guess drinking goes with all that stuff. Dirt biking. And
not really.
Snowmobiling. And,
no. Mm-mm. You're not supposed to drink and snowmobile and ride a motorcycle.
Well, no, they do it after.
I understand. It's snowmobile, then drink.
Yeah.
Then wake up.
Repeat. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
They have a sign that says sled, drink, repeat.
All right. Let's get into and then did you watch the Super Bowl up there?
2 weeks, week and a half. Oh, yeah.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, week. Well,
oh, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yes, we stayed up there for the Super Bowl.
All right.
Well, let me explain what we have. We have a commercial building that the owner converted to a residence. Beautiful.
It is a nice place. I saw the inside of it.
3 full-size leather couches, big screen TV on the wall, big screen TV in the kitchen. And it's basically a great room. You could probably have 12 to 15 people comfortably. So it's really nice. So it's 5 guys went in on the house together, and there's always a host of characters showing up and freeload and staying with us.
Just like the shore.
Yep.
Just like them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing, except it's colder.
Colder, right.
Okay.
Yep. Now, this place does not have a fireplace. Last year, the place they had was brand new with a fireplace. And this year...
They got thrown out of the place last year.
Well, there was a little discrepancy between the group, but...
Right.
They like this place better because there's a liquor store attached and 3 bars within walking distance. So, hey, it doesn't get any better than that.
There you go. So there's always a silver lining.
An upside, right.
Okay. All right. So listen, let's get into some nonsense in the news. We talked about this. I told you what was coming.
Right.
The other day. I was saying, stop talking. I want to talk about this.
Save this one.
Save this one.
Which is?
Channel 7 News down in Florida. The same Channel 7 that's covering the school shooting today.
Yes, tragic. Again.
Tragic school shooting today. Last time I heard there was 17 dead.
I never heard a number.
They said 17, I think. We'll get into that a little bit later. A news producer was fired after using the N-word in a parking lot.
But she said no?
No. She did not say no. Not that N-word.
Oh, the other N-word. Okay.
Right. News producer has been fired after a neighbor shot video of her using racial slurs in a parking lot dispute in Fort Lauderdale. The producer, Robin Cross, used the N-word to refer to her neighbor's son's girlfriend last week, the video shows.
Well, here's the thing with that.
Stop.
Everybody has a camera phone today and a video.
You won't stop when I tell you to stop.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want you that's what I need you to say when we're...
All right.
Give me a second.
See the Jimmy try to give filler.
Yeah, I don't need filler. Because we're going to cut this in. Filler. I don't need filler. The title of the clip says, news producer says, so we know that's not going to be in there.
Oh, she said it. It's got it in it.
So anyhow, yeah, here's the audio.
Every car on this street can get ticketed. Yes, I use the word if you haven't heard it before. Except for your son who dates a
Oops. Yeah.
Ooh.
So anyhow, that's what Robin had to say. Apparently she doesn't like the son's boyfriend or girlfriend.
Wow.
She's a little on the dark side for her. And so they recorded it. And like you say all the time, everybody's got a camera. Everybody's got a video.
Today, yep.
You can't say anything.
Can't say or do anything that you wouldn't want seen.
So Monday, WSVN released a statement that Cross is no longer employed with the North Bay Village Station. After conducting a thorough investigation, WSVN has terminated a 7 News producer who was caught on a cell phone video using racial slurs. WSVN will not tolerate any kind of discriminatory language or behavior. Cross 49. See, she's right in that area where back in the day, it wasn't a big deal to use that word.
Yep. Well, she's going to have a hard time finding another job.
Certainly is, especially in the news.
Wow.
You know, she might be working in a coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah, flipping burgers.
On the evening of February 6th, Cross neighbor Robert Fenton shot video of her using the disputed phrase in the parking lot of her parking lot. Fenton's son and his father had asked Cross not to block his driveway with her car. See, again, people, can't we just be courteous?
Yeah, don't block the driveway. Who does that anyhow?
Right. So she said, you don't fucking own the road. That's what she said.
Yeah, but that won't get you in trouble today. You can do that.
Right. You can say that. But then she said, yes, I used the word, if you haven't heard it before, except for your fucking son who's dating a fucking Cross continued. Finally, I said it out loud, Cross says, as she walked away. It's unclear why Cross invoked Fenton and his girlfriend.
I read the article, and I had to almost go back and reread it because it was confusing back and forth of who said what,
right?
Who blocked who.
So you go on a tirade like that, then you go in the next day and you're fired. That's gotta suck.
Well, Philly had a young girl do it, but not with the racial thing, just cursing out the cops and the security at a club in Philly.
Comedy club.
Yeah, she went on, and she lost her job.
She was out. Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Nope, and you can't go racial. I mean, and there's no reason for it. I don't think understand.
There is.
There's no reason at all. What's the difference of...
No, there isn't.
There is no difference.
No, I agree with you there.
She was probably a nice girl, too.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, listen, if she called her a filthy cunt, I would probably be okay.
She'd still have her job.
You think so?
I don't know.
You think let me ask you this. Filthy cunt, she keeps her job, not keep her job? Well, we know is no good.
Oh, yeah, you're losing your job. Yeah.
Right. Filthy cunt, you think she keeps her job?
Keeps her job with a reprimand, yeah.
Can't call her a lazy whore?
Well, see, with that one, you'd have to really say, well, we have to test her.
Oh, Jimmy wants to put a finger in.
Is she really?
Is she really a filthy cunt? I got to get a smell test here.
Okay. That's subjective.
That is true. One person's filthy cunt is another person's girlfriend.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe she could just cure it up with a little soap and water. I wonder if it was Dr. Jen Guntner. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there goes Johnny opening that scab.
So I got to stay away from her.
Anyway, I agree that the newswoman was way out of line.
Well, she was a producer. She wasn't really. Yeah, because if you take a look at her, she looks like 5 miles of tore up road.
She's definitely behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's definitely behind the camera.
Okay. Well, we all can't be so lucky, to have that TV appearance. All right. Well, like we said, got to watch yourself.
Hey, you know what would look good on you listeners? I'll tell you what. A Brand X t-shirt or hoodie. All you have to do is go to brandxpodcast.com/gear. And you can see the unbelievable amount of shirt styles and colors. Not only will you get a stylish shirt, but you also help support the show. We would appreciate it. So just go over to brandxpodcast.com/gear. Check it out.
Check it out now.
After the 4th DWI, man argues the legal limit discriminates against alcoholics.
I did read that too. I didn't read the whole thing, but I came across that.
How far did you get before your ADD kicked in and you just said that's enough of this?
Not very far, but I did see that. What do we have?
I had my text.
There we go. I guess.
Now, we were talking about this earlier for this weekend. You and I, we drink 4 or 5 drinks. We can't drive.
Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, I won't drive after 3. That's my limit. 3.
Okay. Those guys can drink a half a bottle of vodka and probably drive. You think?
Oh, yeah. Well,
no?
More than likely. Probably shouldn't drive. But can drive.
Can drive. Like, yeah. I would not be able to drive.
No, I have a limit, 3, and that's it. I will not drive. If I drink 3, that's it. I stop, and I'll drive. But after that, no.
I went to a podcasting. Last time I drank, I went to a podcasting conference. We did a show here. It was horrible. It was disgusting. And matter of fact, I never even put it out. It was so bad.
Wow, that had to be bad.
Yeah. And I was so pissed off. I got up, I left here, I went down to the podcasting conference, and I drank like 7 big, tall Jack Daniel Cokes.
Oh, I remember the story. You're down at exit 10 at
right.
the Holiday Inn.
Yes. And yeah, that was a little nasty. But I didn't drive home.
There's nothing wrong with that. Ooh.
Right. After his 4th drunk driving conviction, San Antonio man tries to overturn his sentence by arguing that the Texas legal limit of intoxicating driving discriminates against alcoholics.
What is the number in Texas?
It's 0.08, same thing as here.
Yeah, most states are coming up with that one.
Ralph Alfred Friesenhahn argued that the state's driving limit of 0.08 blood alcohol concentration ignores the higher tolerance of those frequent drinkers that don't have the same effect of liquor as people that don't drink that much. Right.
What was his number he blew this time?
He blew a 0.29.
I don't agree with it, but there might be something to that. So, but it's, you can't have different tests.
Right. You have to have, you can't, see, again, I say sometimes there's a double standard.
Well, the argument would be have a simulator at the police station and put them through all the motions.
You want to put them through okay, listen, you blew an 08, but we're going to put you through the obstacle course.
And if you pass that.
And if you pass the obstacle course, you're okay.
Hey.
We could actually tape it, put it on pay-per-view, you think, maybe?
Well, there would be a cost problem with that. If Deuce were here, I'm speaking for Deuce, Deuce would say the cost for that would just be too great.
Okay.
But
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
so that guy can function probably higher than that 0.08.
Right. If I blew a 0.29, I would be passed out.
Yeah, close to death.
Absolutely. I would be hungover for 3 days.
Yeah, it's
There's
over
no
3
way.
times the legal limit.
Right. 0.4, I think, is alcohol poisoning. 0.4, you're dead. He's a 0.29.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door.
His trial lawyer, Gina Jones, moved to squash the indictment, arguing that the legal driving limit discriminates against alcoholics, but this court judge, Jack Robinson, denied the request.
He might get a possible judge that would want to hear it.
I don't know.
No, because then it'd open up the whole thing for all the past cases, everybody with
I like your idea, though. I like the idea that, okay, you're over 0.8, but let's put you through the obstacle course and see if you can do it. And then if you can't, then that's it. You're done. Videotape it, put a timer on it.
I hear there's some cops that are more lenient with that. In other words, if you're normal, they pull you over and there's a suspicion and you pass that field sobriety test and you're not a jackass, you might not even be going in for a breathalyzer.
Okay.
But a lot of them now have them with them. So I think that might be changing.
See, the biggest problem is, let's say you pull a guy over, right? And then he does this field sobriety, touches his nose, walks a straight line, talks, everything. Then you let him go. He goes 2 miles down the road, gets in an accident. Then they pull his blood, and he's over the limit. Now that cop's in a lot of hot water. So it's really, really hard. He's putting his whole career on the line to let this guy go. For what reason? For who? For what?
Well, the old who you name drop. Everybody name drops today.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Who?
Everybody name drops. Oh, my brother's a cop in this town.
I see what you're saying.
So that's probably how some of these people get off. With Uber and Lyft, there's no reason for it. And
that is true.
And I have used Uber not because I was drunk, but just for convenience, like 3 times this year. It's been
great.
Yeah.
I thought Uber was expensive.
No.
Jimmy don't like to part with a dime.
All right. You guys I don't know where they come off with that.
You're cheap.
I just like to get the most bang for my buck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would never pay $5,200 for a Super Bowl ticket, ever.
Okay.
Never.
All right.
Would I pay $9,000? Sure. $1,000? Yeah, but not $5,200.
$9,000.
In fact, I might buy tickets this year.
Oh, and then sell them?
Yes.
It's a profit deal.
Buy 4.
And then sell them.
Sell 2.
Oh, and then go
for free.
Look at you. Frugal.
Yep. I wish I would have bought 2 in August.
Well, who knew that the Eagles were going to be in the Super Bowl?
But you can sell them to the home team or the winning team at most any time.
Yeah, if I don't know, New England and New York went into the Super Bowl, you don't want to go, you sell all 4.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart idea.
And the tickets were $900 face value, and they were selling for as high as $5,200.
Wow. And I'll tell you what, people from Philadelphia were in there snapping them up.
Yeah, I met a guy paid $2,800, 5 friends, $2,800 apiece.
To go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, each.
Would you pay $2,800 to go to the Super Bowl?
That's over my limit. 20, 19, 18, maybe.
28, no way.
Nah.
That's a car. That's a beater car.
That's a pretty good beater. Yeah.
Yeah. To go watch a football game.
You left out the hotel, and they jacked the prices up.
Mm-hmm.
Hotel, airfare, and meals. And
That's
the fellow that I talked about that went for
Right.
the 2,800, he said the restaurant they ate in, where their hotel was, bartender told them, the managers told them to double everything. So a $5.50 beer became $11
Wow.
for that
Did they wear their Eagle stuff? Because if they did, I'm sure they ate a lot of spit.
I'm sure they did. I didn't ask him that, but oh God, yeah, because we beat Minnesota to get there.
That's right. And they all hated us in Minnesota.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, those Eagles fans are here. They're going to eat a lot of spit, I'll tell you right now. Don't you know?
Yeah, you had to wear Patriots wear
Well,
Patriots.
you had to. Well, we hate those fucking
Patriots just as bad.
Anybody in football eats spit.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Now, there's, like I said,
And you had to pay double for it.
double for your
For your
drinks.
spit.
Yep.
It
It was a good game. It was a really good game.
was a fantastic game. I almost had a heart attack near the end.
And I truly believe what one of the players said is they're going to be in it again. You know, they're going to be contenders for a few more
You
years.
never know, man. You never know because the whole team's going to get torn down, put
I
back
know.
together again.
I know, but
And you never know. So, listen, we thought they were going to go back in the in the early 2000s.
I thought they made it.
They got it, and listen, they went to 5 NFC championship games and only got in once.
Once, right.
And then
Yeah.
lost. But this year was a different. I mean, you saw what happened. This year was a whole different season. Every game that they normally would find a way to lose, they found a way to win.
Oh yeah, it was great watching the last 3 games of the season and the 2 playoff games. Oh
Yeah, but
amazing.
and for me, I mean, I was a little depressed after the season because I was like, man, it's over. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if we'll ever see this again. But
Well, I think they're going to be contenders, definitely.
yeah,
Now to go to the Super Bowl, I think somebody told me that if you bet $100
last year,
in August,
I knew I was going to
Yeah,
put
but-
$100 down.
Yeah.
I knew I should have.
I forget what it was, but it was really high.
I think it was. I think it might have been 100 to 1.
100 to 1. So
Something
a dollar got you 100.
Right. So $100 got you
10,000.
Nice. Nobody's going to do that.
People do it.
You know who did it? There was a hockey player that played for the Flyers. He's an announcer for the Flyers now. Keith Jones.
Okay.
He put $100 down on the Eagles for the Super Bowl
in August.
in August. He got that number.
Nice.
Yes.
Good for him.
Now, speaking of double standards, I love these stories.
Oh, this is going to be a battle between the Johnny and the Jimmy right here. I know what's coming up.
22-year-old teacher charged with sexual assault with an 18-year-old student. Okay. Now, it's a 22-year-old female teacher, but she's not really a teacher. She was an assistant track coach for the high school.
But also did her student teaching.
But
there,
her
so
student teaching was over.
Johnny, you're splitting hairs.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a double standard for guys and girls. If it's the other way around and it's a 22-year-old male teacher and a female student, it's wrong. If it's an 18-year-old male and a 22-year-old female student, it's a high five.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No. My issue is if either one is 18, it changes it for me. But
Right.
I'm no lawyer and I don't know the law.
I mean, she was barely there. She just came in after school and was with the track team. I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous.
Oh, she was barely there. Now, most schools have a policy, all schools, I'm sure, that you cannot, as a teacher, assistant, coach, janitor, secretary, date a student.
A concerned parent tipped off the school officials that the alleged relationship.
Boy, that 18-year-old boy, he's pissed.
I'm sure he was
having a
pissed.
great
He was
time.
knocking the bottom out of this thing. I mean, it's terrible. She's been charged with 3 counts of second-degree sexual assault.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the difference in degrees, and I hope to never need to know.
She's accused of engaging in intercourse and oral sex with a student under the statute that prohibits sexual contact between teachers and students in their schools. Okay. Both the 18-year-old and former teacher told police that it was the student who initiated the relationship.
Doesn't matter.
I understand that.
Yeah, that's...
All right?
Here we are split. Oh, well, he came
Yeah,
on
he
to me.
came on to me,
and
right?
yeah.
I mean, I
couldn't help
that's not
myself.
really fair. The duo started texting one another in December. The former teacher told police that the victim, he's a victim.
Yeah. He got a nice Christmas present because
Yeah,
their first encounter was December 25th.
Right.
I read that.
Jimmy's all over this story.
Yeah.
The victim was kind to her and then stated that she loved the victim. I can't stand we call him the victim.
Yeah. I draw a line in the sand when they're 18. I don't know the law, and I don't think she's going to do any real time because he's 18. If he was underage, then the state
3 counts. 3 counts of second-degree sexual assault.
Yeah, get a good lawyer.
I guess. The
But you don't
alleged
agree-
victim.
I'm sorry, we're talking over each other. You don't agree that the 18-year-old makes a difference?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it makes a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But that kid
But
was
the
15, 16, 17. No, but
Jesus Christ, it's almost, listen, I think if someone delivers the food to the cafeteria, is probably on the school property as much as this woman was as a track coach.
it doesn't matter. She was a person of authority.
I got to tell you, all the kid had to say was, we never did any of that. How do they know?
Right,
He folded. He folded under questioning.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think you're allowed to have them in your house.
The victim refused to provide a written statement. The victim expressed concern for her with regards to the outcome of the investigation.
Let's see where this goes down the road, because
okay, I'm sorry.
She won't do any jail time at all, and
but her life's ruined.
She'll end up marrying a guy. Make a movie, Lifetime.
Maybe. Well, you know what? The world needs strippers too. She could be a stripper.
I didn't see her body; just a headshot.
She's a track coach.
She's in good shape.
I'm sure she's in good shape.
Listen to how we compare, or it matters. But, there's been several of these cases, and I heard, who said it? Somebody in the case said, but she's good looking. Like, that matters.
It does matter.
I know.
It does matter.
But Justice is blind. You ever see the scales of Justice? She has a blind on her eyes.
I understand that.
But they said because she was good looking, she got sympathy. The teacher, in one of those cases back a few years ago.
Oh, I see what happened here. The student claimed that he had lost his cell phone, but two had exchanged sexually explicit photos.
So they were digging him. They dug in.
So as soon as they dug in.
Oh, boy. See, there we go with those phones again.
God damn it.
Right.
Stop taking pictures.
No sexting.
Right. Oh.
That's that younger generation.
That's what happened. She's the same thing. She's probably on the Snapchat.
Yep. Oh, Snapper Chat. Yeah.
Snapper Chat.
Oh, boy.
He was on the Snapper Chat.
Should have stuck it, stuck to the real deal. No pictures.
Yeah, just the old thing. Yeah, listen,
no proof.
He would have took a picture of me naked. I would have said, "Hold on, let me see that phone." Take a picture of me again. I'll shove that phone up your ass.
Right. Well, you're dumb with that.
Right.
Like I said, let's see where it goes. He's 18. It's not going to fall real hard.
Now, I wonder if he's going to, once he's out of school, will they be able to see each other again? Will she want to see him again?
Oh, well, who knows? We'll see.
It'd be nice to get her on the show and ask her these questions. I'm sure she can't talk about it now because it's under investigation.
Get her on the show.
Get her on the show. So as you were knocking the bottom out of this 18-year-old, let me ask you a question.
Weren't you thinking about your career at all?
No. When you were riding this 18-year-old kid like a Harley down a dirt road.
Or Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit. When you were riding this kid like Seabiscuit, did you ever think that maybe, just maybe, that you would get caught doing this?
And it's not a good idea to videotape it.
Exactly. And then the other thing is, what happens is that the teacher decides to break it off because, again, he's 18.
Right.
So she's not going to marry this kid normally. It was a fling.
Right. And now he's
jilted.
He's jilted, but he's got pictures of
He's
proof.
got pictures and all. Next thing you know, he starts talking, and then she's done.
Yeah. Well, like I said again, I'm beating a dead horse. The boy was 18.
She still should get Teacher of the Year.
Teacher of the Year, yeah. I don't think she'll do any hard time for this one.
No?
And, no. What state?
Confusion. Hold on, let me see. Connecticut high school teacher.
Oh, they're a little uptight there.
Couldn't pound a pin up their ass with a sledgehammer up there?
It's
the further north you go, it's a little tighter. You think maybe down in Florida it would be like more?
Yeah, it would be no big deal.
No
California,
big deal.
Florida.
California, yeah.
It'd be soft,
Wouldn't be that big of a deal. And now this kid's looking for a girlfriend, I guess. I don't know. If you're 18 years old and you're able to bang a teacher, I think you'd be able to get high school. Although, something, he's got some stink on his hang low now. I don't think he'll be able to get any high school trim because they all know that he was banging a teacher.
Banging the teacher, yeah. And then when he goes over to dinner at any girl's house.
Yeah. Oh, aren't you the guy that was that deep into the
track
teacher?
Coach? Yeah,
into the track coach.
Wow.
Didn't you throw your javelin into the track coach? Didn't you pole vault into the track coach?
You might have to go a few school districts over.
you might have to change schools.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
And the worst part was, like you said, don't take evidence,
Listen,
video evidence.
Don't victim shame. Yeah. He's a victim here.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's right. He's the victim as he was plowing her like fresh snow.
Now, because he's a student, did they hide his name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't hear nothing about him.
Well, her name's all over.
Right. Her name's all over here.
Yeah.
Taylor Ivy Boncal. Boncal. Taylor, Tayler, Ivy Boncal.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Poor kid.
We'll have to look into this one. Keep that one.
You think I should hold on to this and
yes, definitely
circle back to this a little bit later and see what happens?
See what happens.
I wonder if there's a court date set for this. Oh, she's set for court March 1st.
Oh, boy.
All right, let me write a note down here. March 1st. Go ahead, Jimmy. Write that down.
All right.
We'll Google that later.
There'll probably be a postponement for evidence gathering.
Right. We'll circle back around March 1st. We'll keep an eye. We'll put a pin in that one.
Right.
Like he was putting a pin in that track coach.
I like that. It's javelin in her discus.
Javelin, his pole vault.
He was javelin in her discus.
He was javelin in her discus. There we go. Remember, back in our day, it was like no big deal. Like teachers would bang students all the time, and it wasn't a big deal. When I was in high school, I guess we're not done talking about this.
No.
When I was in high school, one of the English teachers was banging a student, left his wife, married the student, then got sick of her, started banging another student, left the second wife.
Oh, boy.
Now, I don't know if he's still married. He might even be dead by now.
Oh, did you get that other thing I sent you about the school, 1976?
What 1976?
I sent you the article about the teacher.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about it. What was it about?
The one that you didn't know about, the teacher that said that cat dog shits on the rug one more time. I sent you that article.
No.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. We'll get into that in a second.
No,
Well, wait a minute. So how many, and forget about that. Well, I mean, teachers on teachers has been since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, we had a lot of teachers at the time marry each other.
Oh, yeah.
But I know for sure that the one guy was doing it. And
I don't think it was as rampant. 2 years might have changed it, but there was a few, and there was always a rumor. But
I don't remember any female teachers playing around with any of the male students. Although there was a few.
There was a few female students
that were
playing around with the female students.
There was a few female students. That's right. There was a little shrub on shrub crime going on in school.
Yeah.
We had a gym teacher. Imagine that. Girls' gym teacher was in a relationship
with a girl student.
And then broke up with her and went to guys.
Yeah.
The girl student was so bad at licking pussy that she actually drove her back to dick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible, John.
Yep, sure is. But then you have no filter on that. He doesn't. When I first listened to this show, I liked it, but I just thought it was a little too dirty and crude. And Johnny goes, "Oh, I don't care if people are offended." But his audience is
I know
50+ men, I guess. So
right.
Yeah, my female friends really won't listen. Maybe
because of my filthy, dirty mouth?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But think I should back it down a little bit?
Fuck them.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Again, it's like two guys.
It would be another show if we did that.
If we were sitting in a bar right now.
What is this show called?
It's just the Brand X Podcast.
Yeah, I think you got to keep the Brand X Podcast because Deuce goes right along with it. You'd have to have a different show.
To do what?
To turn it down a little. Maybe that can be a news story.
I don't understand what you're saying. So, in other words, like if we...
Your general shows, out of your 169 shows...
82, but go ahead.
182 shows. I missed
82 shows. Go ahead.
Okay. 81 of them would offend most...
Everybody's offended nowadays.
39 to 55-year-old women. They would just not...
Really?
Yeah. Just saying.
Okay. You might be right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I am.
Yeah. I think I've said a few things today.
Let's go back. I think the dirty
clam. What?
Yeah. That might be.
Pole vault into the discus.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, that was because you said it.
Well, it's true though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
See, the dirty clam is subjective. Somebody's dirty clam. You said it could be somebody else's girlfriend.
Right. Yes.
But anyway, we're finished with this one.
Yeah, I guess we're not talking about teachers banging students back in our day.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I can't. It's the only two that I can think of.
I don't think it was as popular or going on as much as it is today. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't think that it is caught as much as it is today. And I don't think that anybody really, it wasn't a big deal. Like, I know it was common knowledge in the school that the English teacher was banging a student.
Well, I know a lot. Jimmy knows a lot.
Jimmy knows a lot.
I did not know that one. Although
really?
I have a few others I knew about. I think it was sort of like gay in the military. Don't ask, don't tell.
Okay.
But, most of them had to leave. The male teacher that I knew that was dating a female, he had to leave, go to another school. So that's what they did. They swept it under the carpet.
Right. They brought him over. They said, listen, if you can keep your dick out of the students, you can come over here and teach math.
Right.
But you got to
keep your dick out of the
students. Your dick out of the students. Is this what you're talking about, the dirtiness of my...
Yeah,
this is it. That's a little over the top.
Right.
You don't see the assistant principal sitting down with the teacher and saying, okay, listen, I heard about what happened at the other school. Do you think you can keep your dick out of our students here?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I think I can.
Okay.
All right.
You're hired.
You're hired.
All right.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
He's done. You're done.
Oh, now.
She'll never teach again.
No.
She's done. It's serving, it's waitressing and pole dancing for her. Maybe she'll find a nice guy.
Maybe. All right. Lifetime movie. Go see a producer.
Lifetime movie. Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah, here we go. Let me get to this. So I got a little musical interlude to this one.
She packed my bags last night. Pre-flight. 0 hour. 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high. As a kite by then. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no! I'm a rocket man! Rocket man!
Michael Hughes planned to launch his homemade rocket ship on February 3rd. He had to cancel his launch in November. The second version failed. He is a flat earther who is going to launch his rocket up into the sky and try to prove that the earth is flat.
Oh, my God.
In fairness to Mike Hughes, he knows how to build a rocket. He's built them many years and has a degree in physics. But he is also known as a daredevil, and he did not get it off the ground. I got to tell you, this guy here, I think he's scamming people for money. That's the good stuff.
He must be.
Right. So Saturday marked the Hughes' third aborted launch since he declared himself a flat earther. Last year, he announced a multi-part plan to fly into space at the end of 2018 so he could prove that the Earth is flat. He has a steam-powered rocket. It began last year. Of course, he's raising money. So he raised money, and then he built a rocket, and then he was having issues, so he tried to raise some more money. I just think this guy is
scamming people.
There
are really people out there. He must be scamming some more flat earthers.
I'm telling you, I know people that are kind of, I would say, normal that actually believe the earth is flat.
Wow.
I mean,
That's scary.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I say? I say, go find the head of the flat earther and then put him in a rocket and shoot his ass into space with some astronauts.
Cameras. Yeah, and
let him see. And then come back down and say, okay, you know what? We fucked up. Earth's not flat.
Go look.
Go look.
Go look. No.
Right.
Go fall off the edge.
Yeah, somehow. I don't think that if the Earth was flat, with everybody flying around, pilots would know whether the Earth was flat.
Well,
don't you think?
I can understand in 1492 maybe, but in 2018, no. We've been to the moon and the whole other planet. No, can't. A lot of people would have fallen off. Maybe that's where all the missing people went.
You think maybe
they fell off the edge?
I got you. You just started a GoFundMe account to offset the cost of the much delayed launch. He's trying to raise $10,000 right now. He's got 100. Not even the flat earthers are
kicking into this.
Right.
No.
There's a web TV channel called Nosy TV. They tried to live stream the launch, but he was there trying to get the rocket to go up. He got in the rocket. He was in the rocket for a while.
Oh, it was a manned rocket.
Oh yeah, he was going to get in there, and then for some reason it couldn't shoot off.
Honestly, the story is it just crashed. I lost all interest in this story.
Well, see, what happened was he had to get permits, and they wouldn't let him shoot. He had to find a place where he could shoot the rocket off, so he had to go to California.
Yeah.
So he tows this rocket behind his motorhome. He gets there, and the motorhome breaks down. Yeah. So now he's stuck there with this fucking rocket. And
Oscar Mayer Wiener.
He's like, again, he's got a house, but he says, I don't know what's going on here. I pulled the plunger 5 different times. I considered on beating on the rocket nozzle from underneath, but anybody's under there. If this thing goes off, it'll blow the skin and muscle right off your bones.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You're going to have a hard time having a discussion on this one with me. I'm just blown away by these guys.
I'm telling you, why can't NASA just shoot one of them up into space? It's not that big of a deal. It would take about a year for the guy to go through the training. He's just going to be luggage. You just strap him in.
Yeah, but who cares?
I care. I'm done with this. I'm done with all this nonsense in the videos.
They would probably say that he'd say they drugged me and I just went to a Hollywood shoot or something. I don't know. There's always that.
Really?
Well, there's a huge rumor that we didn't go to the moon July 69, that was a hoax.
Right.
Because we wanted to beat the Russians. Then we definitely went, but it wasn't July of 69. And, our government's still.
Why haven't we been back?
No, we went back a couple of times.
No, I understand it, but why haven't we been back since the last time we went? Like, why? I kind of know why we didn't go back. Because they didn't find anything there. Like, if there was gold up there.
Platinum, gold, silver,
oil, something that they could bring back, they'd have been
up there drilling away.
Yeah, they'd
drill,
been up
baby,
there drilling.
drill.
Yeah, that's right. But they went up there and there was nothing. There was nothing they could find up there. So they decided, well, there's no sense going there. Now they're on their way to Mars. So they say.
I thought they found something too with one of those lunar or Mars probes. Didn't it bring back some kind of organism?
Well, nothing's come back yet.
Nothing. Okay.
No, they can't bring anything back. They can only shoot shit to Mars.
Okay.
But they can't. They don't have anything to bring. They don't have the technology to bring anything back yet.
So it's going to look like a junkyard up there if they keep it up.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But I mean, there's not really that much stuff up there. Listen, we put junk up on them. The lunar modules and all that stuff. The cars they drove around on.
Yeah, they're still up there.
They're still up there. The launch pad's still up there. That's what I'm saying. Is like,
I think the cost to go to the moon outweighed any benefit.
Yeah, we went. We landed.
Right.
That's fine. But then, why didn't anybody else? Why didn't the Russians go? Why didn't the Chinese go?
I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah, why?
Never did?
So in other words, yeah. So they're
Russians
thinking,
never landed on the moon.
Not that I know of. I don't think they did.
Well, Deuce were here, he'd know, and he had the dates and all.
Well, Deuce would think we're all screwy anyhow.
Yeah.
He would think, because we were talking about this. But, I mean, anybody that could pull off a lunar landing hoax would be the United States with everything you had as far as camera work and special effects and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
So,
and I'm not saying that I believe that. There are people who do, and it was, the big thing to beat the Russians.
That, to me, is more plausible than the Earth being flat. That we didn't go to the moon.
Well, no. There's too many reasons for the Earth not to be flat. You'd fall off, whatever.
Well, they say that, but I mean, again, what they're saying is the reason you don't see anybody going to Antarctica, or there's no pictures of Antarctica from space, is because Antarctica is what goes around the Earth, and that's what holds the water in. The ice and everything holds the water in.
Gravity
we're just a big disk. But they say no. If gravity would just run to the bottom and still stay there. So everything down below the equator would be flooded, and everything above the equator would not be. Oh. That's what their theory is. But I don't know. So anyhow, that's that.
All right.
So get ready to give up your guns. Just shot up another school. Don't know what's going on now. I mean, the bodies weren't even cold, and they're already calling for a gun ban, a gun repeal.
I don't know. It's a tragic thing, and you're never going to stop a nut with a gun. With any law.
If you get rid of all the guns,
that would be communism, basically. You go.
They do it over in Australia. They do it in England. No one has guns. No one has automatic weapons.
Well, they do, but you have to be the elite, and then they have shooting clubs. You keep it there, locked up in a locker, and all that. But
right now, they're trying to limit the amount of ammunition you're allowed to buy. You can't buy that much ammunition.
Well, that's what's going to happen. I think it's been that way. Deuce has even brought it up, where they're
going to
raising the price and cutting the supply.
Right, so you can't shoot them up.
That's another whole reason we're not going to get into tonight.
Again, to me, is all you do is raise the price for the black market. Because people can build guns. People can manufacture guns. They're easily manufactured. Same thing with ammunition. People can, if the price is right and the profit is right, people will manufacture,
reload,
and reload and sell. I mean, why not? Yep. So to me, I haven't heard anything more about that Vegas shooting. That was swept under the rug.
Yeah, that's been quiet.
And there was a lot of nonsense going on during that Vegas shooting. There was more than one shooter. There was people shooting in different areas of Vegas at the time. And from what I hear, this is, again, through conspiracy theories going on here, that they were trying to bring in somebody like from ISIS or somebody that they were going to try to do an arms deal with. And it went bad. And they killed the guy. And then they shot out the window. And then they took off and started running down the strip and shooting other people. Because there are shots fired in other areas and bullet holes in other casinos that are not in line. Like there's a building between Mandalay Bay and where these shots were. So there's no way they could have been fired or ricocheted to that other building.
Yeah, I haven't been up on any of that. But
all of a sudden, it seems like it really, really got quiet. And then there seems to be something about it. Now, there was another story that no one picked up on, and I saw the reports on the news. There was a guy in, I would say, it was either Kentucky or Missouri or something like that. He was caught with a bunch of automatic weapons, no serial numbers. He wouldn't talk. He wouldn't say anything. They put him in jail, and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
Still got the shovel.
Well, I'm just telling you that, it sounds like there might have been a CIA thing going on here that we don't know about, a black ops or some kind of false flag operation that happened.
And went bad.
And it went bad. Let me just tell you something. And this is what gets me a little nervous about this country, because everybody, like not everybody, but a bunch of people all of a sudden, they decide that they want to jump on this whole thing about getting rid of guns. And to me, one of the biggest things to protect our freedoms from the government, not from anybody else, from our own government, is a well-armed population.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So what's the best way to do that is to get everybody on board, because what they're doing, they're shooting up schools, they're shooting up children,
right.
They're shooting up concerts, they're killing all these people.
You already have half the people on their side, so all they need to do is get another quarter.
Right. And the next thing you know, they take the guns away, and then there's no way of the population stopping.
Yeah. And they might let you keep your old double-barrel Fox, but you're not going to compete against an AK.
Right, exactly.
Or an AR, so yeah.
And if you look back in time in history, what's the way that the first thing that Hitler did
disarm
the population. The first thing that Russia did was disarm the population, and now we're trying to disarm the population here. But of course, our government would never do anything like that.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in World War II, we made these cheap pistols that were one shot, and we dropped them in Germany to the people so that they could then shoot a soldier that didn't know they had a gun and take his gun. They were the biggest piece of shit. One shot. They came with directions, and they dropped them in. They were basically like a one-shot 38.
I didn't hear about this.
And Deuce would know more about it than me, but yes, they dropped them out of airplanes. And then the story was that, 5 or 6 of us would get these, pick them up in the woods or whatever. We would put them in our pockets and walk up to unsuspecting soldiers who didn't think we had guns because they knew they took them all, pop them all in the head, and then take their machine guns and pistols.
How about that? Now look at that. See? So I guess in a way there will always be. I don't know. I don't know if you can really disarm America, to be quite honest with you.
At this point, it'd be hard. You have too many people that love their guns.
Mm-hmm.
What did Hillary say? Or no, was it Obama? They cling to their God and their guns.
Well, I'm just, again, it's the great equalizer, to be quite honest with you. I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of other countries would never invade us, because we had such a high armed population. Not only did they have to fight the military, but everybody, most of the population owned a gun.
Well, even back in the old days, in the time of the British, they said there would be a gun behind every tree.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So
who knows? I feel so bad for these families and the children, students, and
I can't imagine somebody going into a school. The kid was the suspect was 19. We don't know if he was.
It said a former student.
So he decided to come in, and again,
he's alive, which I
heard he was wounded.
Oh, okay.
I heard he was wounded.
He didn't look it, but then they put him on a stretcher. I watched it.
Right.
But they had him cuffed, and they were stripping his pockets. And he actually got out. He got out of the school. I dropped the rifle. Well, this is, not fact, 100%. And left with all the other students, and they caught him quite a distance away.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
See, again.
They interviewed one student who said he didn't know him. He recognized him, but a friend of his knew him and said, now, of course, you can put anything you want on Facebook, that the kid used to post pictures of weapons and knives. And I'm sure that's taken down.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. I mean,
you always say if you see something, say something.
And I thought people would by now, but they don't.
I know.
The bullying is really bad. Bullying is bad, and they need to work on that.
I don't know, but when do you know if somebody's really that crazy? Because to be quite honest with you, some of the conversations we've had, me and you on the phone.
Yeah.
I was thinking about alerting the police to your shenanigans. There's a couple times. Well, if you ever get cancer, if you ever get cancer, I'm moving out of town. I'll tell you that until after all the shooting stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Jimmy gets terminal cancer, holy cow! There's a list. There's a list of people.
Nah, don't listen to that.
Just take yourself out. Don't take everybody else out with you. Not Jimmy. I'm taking you all with me.
Yep. Anyway, the school shootings, there's
nothing funny about school shootings. I understand.
Now,
that.
They did show footage, and, Jimmy's the doubting Thomas. I saw footage And I
So
said
Jimmy
this,
talks about himself in the third person.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I saw footage this time, but the one a couple of years ago, Sandy Hook, I believe Sandy Hook, the one up there, they tore the school down. I didn't see any footage of anybody on stretchers or anything. And a friend of mine's mother is so liberal, we battle. And she's, oh, what did you want to see, dead children?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see something.
I want to see some
the
proof.
carnage.
Right, a little bit.
That one stinks to high hell.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to see dead children on the
Well, that's
news.
what I'm talking about. I mean, that's when you have something like that where you shoot young children, someone goes in and shoots young children or something. I mean, just the narrative to get rid of the guns, the narrative to stop these shootings at all costs. I understand it, but I don't see it happening. I don't see where you're ever going to get the guns off of people like in inner cities or something where they need guns like that to survive. You know, it's a hellhole in there where they're going to give up guns. And then what happens is, you know, the people that do keep the guns, they have such a big advantage over people that don't have guns. I love the sign where they put on their lawn, listen, our next door neighbor wants guns banned. He doesn't have any guns in his house.
So
rob him. And, you know, out of respect for his wishes, we won't use our guns to protect him.
Right. I've seen similar or something like that.
Right.
I heard, though, you talked about Australia. Australia banned guns, and then the crime went up because the criminals kept their guns or got them black market.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, you filthy Australians.
Yep.
Give us half a loaf, half a story.
Right. And then the crime went up because everybody knew now those people don't have guns anymore. We're easy mark.
Exactly, they're easy mark.
Yep.
Oh, but they got a knife.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a knife.
This a knife.
This a knife.
And you know, Jimmy, he loves the stories when the 89-year-old lady pulls out her pistol and stops the intruder. Oh, I just love it.
That's like porn.
Yes.
That's like porn to Jimmy.
Yep. Yeah. And recently there was a couple stories. You know, we'll have to look that up. But
do you get the NRA magazine?
No, not anymore. They got a teenage girl somewhere at gunpoint and forced her way into a house, but they didn't know the dad was packing, and the dad took the shot. That was the big question. Would you take the shot?
Sure.
And he said yes because he knew what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew he took the shot, he made the shot, and he killed that one and wounded the other one, I believe, who showed up at a hospital later.
And they got him?
Yes. And the big question was, would you take the shot? Because he knew what would happen once they were in and had control.
Mm-hmm.
He would be tied up. They would rape his wife and daughter, kill him anyway.
Right. So it's your
and even if he hit his own daughter, he thought,
maybe just winger,
collateral damage. Yeah.
All right, something like that. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, let's jump on out of here. I appreciate you coming in, Jimmy.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I'll be back.
You think you'll be back?
Oh, definitely.
I'm telling you right now, dude. I could get you to commit to once a week. I say we get a cup of coffee, we sit in the car, and we talk about stories.
All right.
It's the John and Jimmy show.
All right.
I'll even give you. It's the Jimmy and John show.
I'll get top billing.
You'll get top billing.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about some podcast shout-outs. The Evening Radio Podcast with Jason and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face Network. Last week, I was on the show. I was a guest, and I was in a contest with Mindy.
Oh.
A trivia contest. I did win, but I want to tell Mindy something. Mindy, there's a flaw in your strategy about these games, and I knew what it was going in, and I used it against you.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Mindy, but I love to win, so I knew it. Bob did it to you all the time, and I didn't say anything, but I'm going to tell you right now, so that way, if you ever play again, what you do is you jump and rush to the answer. And what happens is if you're wrong, then the other person gets all the time in the world, gets to hear all the other multiple choices, and then gets to pick. And you've already picked one wrong answer. They don't, instead of having to pick one out of four, they only have to pick one out of three.
Oh, Mindy, John got your tell.
See? So I got your tell. So what happens is you just let them listen. I listen to the answers, and then don't be so quick to jump in and answer, because once you answer wrong, you're done. And then the other person has all the time in the world to listen to the other answers, to think, to do a little bit of, all right, maybe it's not this one, and then knock it down to two, and then you can make a guess. Because there was a couple of them that I completely guessed at, and out of the three that I completely guessed at, I got two right.
Excellent.
Yes. And then also they do the other podcast they do is The Difference Between Us with Jason, Mindy, Jason's sister, Stephanie, and David. David and Stephanie are engaged, and I really like that show. You would like that show.
I'll have to try it.
You would like that show. Do you listen to podcasts anymore? I don't really hear you. You don't really call me up anymore.
No, I will be coming up on them soon again. You know what I do, so when I'm...
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so in the season, you'll start listening to them. Okay, all right. Bad Cop with Jerry and Dave. We haven't had a show out in a while. They keep threatening to have a show out, but we haven't heard anything, and I miss them. Miss you guys. Come on, bring a show back out. The Hunan podcast with Rocky, BB, Drew, and Josh, part of the Hush Your Face Network. The Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony, part of the Hush Your Face Network. And the Unwritable Rant with Juliet Miranda. David, the producer, which is her husband. She was dancing and singing and drinking all at the same time. And he got a video of it. It was entertaining. It was very entertaining. And check her show out. She gets a chance to interview all these great comedians. Like I don't know if you know the comedian. His name's Bert. I can't remember his last name right now. He's the one he's the machine that always is up there without a shirt on. I'm the machine.
No.
He tells that story.
Names and I don't really stick.
I understand that.
But no.
But she's not done. She's interviewed a bunch of comedians. Jim Norton, Bob Levy, Nick DiPaolo. Jeez, you're not good with names. I'm not good with names. Yeah. So, really good show. The Pet and Meller Show with Matt Meller and Viva La Pedros, part of the Hush Your Face Network. They just put a show out. It was very, very funny. The Bro Rons podcast with Big D and Little R, part of the Hush Your Face Network. And the Rob and Slim Show with Rob, Slim, Sleepy Lucas, and Slambo. And they have a woman on there, a girl. Her name's Ryder Doll. And she is a phone sex operator. In other words...
Yeah, you mentioned that. I've heard you mention that.
Okay. So, and she does this thing where she takes a term out of the Urban Dictionary and describes it. And dude, she does have a really, really sexy voice. And she's really funny. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. It's definitely worth a listen. Horribly Awkward with Sean Fuller, part of the Hush Your Face Network. The Story Behind with Emily Prokop. Real short, easy to listen to, very informative. Enjoy that show. Toe on the Trigger with Daniel, Mike, C3K, or Courtney 3000. And then the Tom and Steve Show. Tom is the one I was talking about that's like Flat Earther.
Yeah.
They haven't put a show out in a while, but, you know, it is what it is.
It's very hard. For the edge.
Right. Everyone Has a Podcast with Adam and Brian. The Bold and Belligerent podcast with Lauren, Josh, Mike, and Luke. They haven't had a show out. And my two girlfriends, Lisa and Sam, from I Shake My Head. I don't know if you'd like that one or not. They're two friends from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and they sit in their car, which is named Betty.
Okay.
And for 45 minutes to an hour, they do a podcast. And I'm telling you, Jimmy, it's very, very entertaining.
Bucket Seat Podcast, we could call it.
The Bucket Seat, well, we wouldn't have a Bucket Seat podcast. First of all, we'd be in a truck, so it would be a bench seat.
Well, mine has buckets. The Chevy. The
Well, we're not going in the Chevy. We're going to so I would check that show out. Really, really entertaining show. Love that. I love that show.
No, I'll give them a chance.
I'm sure I'll have to take your phone and subscribe to you.
Yep, you will. I have a 6-hour ride coming up. Before I take that ride, I'll get them.
Right. Oh, did you ever go on a 6-hour ride and put my show on? Did they make you turn it off?
Oh, yeah. Mike made me turn it off.
Which Mike?
My brother.
Really?
Sorry.
Fucking asshole.
He doesn't get the humor.
He doesn't get the humor?
I don't know.
What is wrong with that boy?
Now, see, you had to read all that. You normally have Deuce to help you read it all. So I will give John a shout-out. He reads half of it.
I do. Well, he does half of the
It gives you a break.
Right. Then I do the readout.
Okay.
Which is, if you enjoyed this show, please do us a favor. Tell a few friends. Now you got me all fucked up now, because if your friends are women, if they're cunty women, don't tell your friends. But if you got some women that aren't so cunty, they might like the show. So tell them. Even share the episode on your social media accounts. I mean, Jimmy's on the Twitter. He never goes on the Twitter. You have a Twitter account. You're actually on the Instagram now.
Yep. Yeah,
you don't do anything on there? You're a lurker.
Yeah.
You're more of a lurker than a content provider.
Okay.
All right. So if you're
updated.
Yeah, if you're, social media, just give us a shout out. It's easy to do. We're on all these social media platforms. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/BrandXPodcast, on the Twitter at BrandXPodcast, on Instagram at BrandXPodcast. Please like and follow and subscribe to the show. And like we said, tell a friend. If you'd like to join on the conversation, it's very easy to do. You can tweet at us. You can also email us at brandxpod@gmail.com. And we actually have a voicemail line. You could actually call in, Jimmy.
There you go. The old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way.
Leave a message on the answer machine.
We have a phone line. It's 856-322-2473. Leave a message, and we will feature you in our next Time Your segment. But we don't have them because nobody calls in. But let's try to change that. All right, thank you so much for listening, and come on back next week for another episode of the Brand X Podcast. Well, you can bring it closer to you. That's fine. You're good. I want you comfortable. You're not, if you're back an inch or two, look, you can do this. You can come back here. You just want to be kind of somewhere like where you are right now. We're just going to have a conversation. Yeah, that's all. You're doing good.
6 inches.
All right. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I just want to have a conversation.
You know me and technology. We just don't mix.
Well, I understand that, but all we're doing is have a conversation.
Yeah, I know, but when you guys all three of you guys were on your things, and look, you were laughing, you were looking at this and looking at that.
Well, I understand that, but I can't give you too much to do at once. If this becomes a thing, we'll build into getting you something where you can look at things. But for right now, all I want you to do is comment and react.
Somebody sent me something on the way here. I'm just going to look at it.
Go ahead. Look at it.
It said something about how to scramble your eggs. How to properly scramble your eggs. Laugh out loud. It's a video, but I tapped on it and nothing happens. And it's a naked guy with a boner.
Okay.
And a girl in some kind of pink outfit, and he's putting something in her mouth, but not his. So I guess he's putting eggs in her mouth. I don't know.
I don't. Who sends that shit to you? Yeah, see, I try to steer away from that.
Yeah.
Because it's just not my thing.
No, whatever.
Because guys, they start sending you shit like that. Next thing you know, you hear bing, and you look over, and the next thing you know, you hit the thing, and there's like this lady, and all of a sudden she's like her tits are swinging back and forth, like two pendulums, and I'm like,
nice,
okay, I see that. What do I do with it? I mean, what do we do with it? Okay,
no, he doesn't send me. Usually his things are gun related, and.
Yeah, you send me a lot of poker stuff. Although I do, most of them I've seen already.
Yeah,
because I do the same. I do the same.
It's
thing
hard to get ahead of Johnny on poker.
It is kind of hard. That is true.
All right, so it's 7:26.
It doesn't matter.
An hour late. Well,
none of this matters. See, here's the thing about podcasting. None of this matters.
Yeah,
if you make a mistake,
we're not podcasting now, are we?
I'm recording right now.
Oh, he set me up.
No, it's okay. The reason I'm recording right now is because I was going to get ready to say something, and you said, "Let me check your phone." I'm not shutting it off.
Yeah.
But see, this is the great thing about podcasting is that if you make a mistake, you just go back and say it. I cut it out in the editing.
I had a feeling you were recording. I just had that feeling.
I said, let's get ready to go. And I hit the button and you said, let me just check my phone. I'm not shutting it off. It's not like I'm trying to catch you. Oh, Johnny's trying to catch me saying something. I'm not leading you down a path. This is not to get you, just so you know.
No, I know.
You're helping me out. I think, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's his catchphrase right there.
I know. But the thing is that me and you, we talk so much and we have these great, funny conversations. I'm going to knock that fucking phone. I'm not going to be like you. Put that fucking phone down.
It's attached to your damn hand. So you want to get the raw Jimmy. He doesn't want the
Stop talking to the audience. You talk to me. We'll have a conversation here. I'll talk to the audience.
Oh.
Okay?
Johnny is large and in charge.
I'm just trying to tell you, I don't want the Jimmy who's playing to the crowd.
Yeah. He's got the Howard Stern thing going on, He's the only one who can talk to the crowd.
I'm not going to talk to the crowd. I don't want you talking.
Gotcha.
I don't want you talking to the crowd.
Okay.
The crowd thinks you're a made-up character of my imagination.
Yeah, no, we proved that already, I thought.
Well, one time, but, people are like, I don't, is the Jimmy a real person? The fucking Jimmy's a character, all right.
Yeah, I think the Deuce has led that down the right road to know that there's the Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, there's a Jimmy. Yeah. There's definitely a Jimmy. Oh, we're going to get into the Jimmy. Trust me. I got stories for the Jimmy.
Okay, let's go then.
All right, here we go. Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.